wide roads and public gardens where you can find plenty of monuments. Yerevan has the habit of honoring its great people and keeping their memories. That's why it turned to be an open-air museum. And to honor Alexander Tovmassian, the person who first made the plan of Yerevan, was something expected. It was the same for the composers Alexander Spendiarian and Aram Khachadurian, as well as the writer Hovhannes Tovmassian, whose literature has been translated into all the languages of the world. And there would be less literature for children if not his moderate literary heritage.
If all the statues and monuments in Yerevan have their very own and special story, this statue is as shy, as humble as the man it represents, Karabala. All that is known about him is that he was a vagrant, homeless, and fell in love with flowers. He used to offer them to every passing by. Yerevan didn't want to forget him.
Armenia is proud to have one of the lowest percentages of uneducated population in the world. It preserved the houses of its famous people and turned them into very well organized museums open to tourists, like the houses of Martir Rosarian, Khachatur Abovian, and many others. In the National Museum, one can find very rare art pieces of Russian and European artists. Armenian sculptures and the drawings represent 3,000 years of art history. And the Genocide Museum keeps documents of the Armenian genocide for preserving the memory of the victims for the coming generations. Another thing that the Armenians cannot forget are the long years of Soviet dominance, during which Armenia was in a deep sleep, and the statues of Lenin and Stalin were far from being art pieces, but much more like a soldier with controlling eyes, whose duty was moral, to prevent any attempt to change the situation. But the system failed, and they themselves were the first victims. Suddenly, a very huge statue of Stalin disappeared. Another statue took over. Mair Hayastan, Mother Armenia. A loving art of a reborn country. The collapse of communist regime and the strategically geographical situation of Armenia on this specific part of the world have encouraged the Western political presence in Armenia. United States of America built its biggest embassy of the world. The passion of the Armenian people for the cultural life has no limits, and regardless of its financial situation, the Armenian people do not miss any theatre or film or new performance. The history of the Armenian theatre is 2000 years of age. The Greek historian Plutarch writes that the plays of Sophocles and Euripides enjoyed great popularity in Armenia. The people in Yerevan celebrate their sad and happy moments in the Republic Square, the country's biggest square and the political center of the country. This square is a territory of liberty that gives life to the capital.
Armenian. I'm from the United States and I'm living and working here in Armenia, and it's great place to live, very fun. Tonight we're having a festival here in the Republic Square, as you can see around me, and it's a great time and a very comfortable, wonderful place to live.
But the most famous battlefields are the fields of chess, which is the most popular sport in Armenia and which gave such great champions to the world as Garry Kasparov and Diran Baghdadian. Football also enjoys great popularity, and the Hrazdan Stadium seems small in front of the great love towards this sport.
The transportation system in Yerevan is based on a metro line, minibuses, buses and many taxi services.
New and renovated hotels provide the needed comfort. Armenia Hotel is almost national and is directed by the Marriott Group, which encourages the flow of tourists from Western countries.